anything or can't hear me, please let me know. My name is Zach Goodsell. I work at Creighton University. I'm a senior instructional designer, and I am happy to be here as part of the Nebraska Canvas conference. You'll see my dog Captain come in and out of the frame, so I hope he's not too distracting, but we'll go on without him. This session is, I titled it just Canvas Like a Pro. It's tips for instructional designers and admins. And we'll go ahead and get started as I toss the dog a treat. It's the joy of working from home, right? This morning, I wanted to just do a quick introduction about myself, Creighton, and the unit that I support, as well as some tips for efficient course design, creating sustainable resources, and we're looking more at like onboarding and student or eOrientation kind of things. And I just want to open up for questions at the end. So I don't have a super long slide deck, but I do want to spend some time here talking through some things. As I mentioned, my name is Zach Goodsell. I've been at Creighton for about 5.5 years, and I've worked primarily with their health science program. I support a unique occupational therapy program where we have students here in Omaha, as well as on the ground in Denver and Alaska. They're all in the same course. The students at a distance are getting their lectures online, taking their exams online, while the campus students is much more like a campus program. They go to the classroom, get their lecture there. They also take their exams there, but they're all in the same course. And so it's been a very great opportunity for me. Creighton University has been with Canvas, I want to say, since 2013. I saw Terry and Barb on here too, so they can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong on that. So we've been with Canvas for a long time, even before I came on board, and we've been very heavy users of it, even well before COVID kind of came up and gave us a very unique spring. I'm part of the Teaching and Learning Center at Creighton, and we support courses from across the campus in a variety of ways. We do a lot of work engaging and coaching faculty on using technology. We will physically support like their online courses as well as some exams. We have some media staff, just a wide variety of roles, including assessment as well. So I've already shared a little bit about me, so I'm going to go to the next slide. So first, I'm going to start with some tips for efficient course design. So I'm going to talk about a standard blank template, maybe some module settings that you may or may not have used before. I'm going to talk about a thing called Canvancements, which is outside of kind of the typical Canvas realm. And then I'll talk about schedule announcements. All right, so one of my recommendations to ease the start of a brand new course. A lot of times we're given a brand new either online course, first time it's ever been offered online, or the curriculum completely changed and you're starting fresh. The same scenario, this might be a benefit to you. I recommend making a blank template course that contains a lot of the standard settings within that program. I think we have, in most cases, we have a different blank course. I call it blank course because it has very little stuff in it. I think I have the screenshot in a second. It allows you to quickly apply settings that are typical to that program. Maybe get a welcome placeholder in there so your faculty can support or quickly type in their introduction, their bio, their picture, that kind of thing. Also, a lot of our programs use a set grading scheme. And so when I import from that, what I call a blank template or a master template, that grading scheme and all the other course settings come with it. So I don't have to remember this, this course is in this program, so I need to go set these. Again, this is really helpful, especially for new courses. And then when you get a new course shell, my first import is bringing in that template, and then I will help build all the new content. I'd be a little hesitant using this method on a existing course that already has content because maybe their grading scheme or other settings are already set for them. But for starting fresh, this has been one of my favorite tips to pass along to folks is just keep it rolling. And this is just a really basic screenshot, but this is one of our templates. It just has 2 modules in it. Every course has a welcome to the course content page. And so we obviously replace those 3 X's there. And then we also have a welcome from the instructor, and that is a place for the faculty to welcome. There may be other things they add to that module, including maybe a link to the library e-reserves or those kinds of things. Those are all more, I would say, faculty preference. And then we also have we use Campus Labs as an end of course evaluation tool. And so we have a standard link that everyone uses, so we're able to drop it in the course even before content's in there. Some of the things that helps with is the navigation on the left-hand side of the course. If you have that already set in your template and you import that in and bring in your course settings, that'll all abide by that rule that you've set within the template course. And again, a grading scheme has been one of my other favorite features of that. All right, we're gonna move on to module settings. This is not necessarily applicable to every course, and this might be more of an instructor preference or a program preference. But we have a lot of faculty that have appreciated being able to maybe create lockstep courses or courses that cascade. So you want a student to submit one thing and it opens up the next unit. Maybe they need to score so much on a quiz in order to open up that next content page. You can do that within the module settings, setting up prerequisites and requirements. I would say this is maybe, it's not a very hard feature, but it's maybe more of an advanced one. Obviously, step 1 is getting your content in the course, and then step 2 is directing the flow of that. So this is more directing the flow. On top of that, you can also schedule module content to be available at a specific date and time. I don't have very many faculty that I support that do that, but the ones that do really appreciate knowing that their content, even if they publish it, the content ahead, maybe next week or a month from now, is not necessarily available to students if they've set it to not be available until that date, especially if they're updating PowerPoints or those kinds of things. And I have a screenshot here. And I just went to the module, clicked on the 3 dots and hit edit settings. And I've set it to lock until date. That was the last bullet point on the previous slide. And you can also add prerequisites. So if you had like a getting started module and you wanted students to take a quick 4-question syllabus quiz or whatever that is, you're able to do that. And then set the prerequisite as that previous module. And then you're also able to, set requirements of that module. So you not only need to set it to move in order or in a sequential order or what requirements, you also need to come down here and hit this add requirement button. And so for every item that you want to be part of that lockstep process, you can set it to be a submit this assignment, score so much on a quiz, etc. So you need to add that there, hit update module, and it works great. I'm gonna take a quick pause, wait for any questions in the chat, and I also, my dog Captain, of course, needs to go outside real quick, so I'll be right back. All right. And while we're on this mini break, Barb mentioned that we piloted Canvas in spring 2012, so it was actually earlier than I thought. And it was open in summer 2012 for everyone. So I've been with Canvas for 8 years now, if my math is correct. All right, we're gonna keep moving on. One of my favorite features are things called Canvancements. And these are actually created by someone within the Canvas community. There's actually quite a long list of items that they've created to improve or enhance the experience within Canvas. And this is more focused for teachers and admins. I don't know if I missed one. I don't think any are necessarily student focused, but they really are just about keeping content organized, quick updates, and those kinds of things. I've listed 2 of my very favorite Canvancements here, and I have some screenshots to talk through why they're my favorite ones. But you can also just search Canvas Canvancements, and it's spelled here, as well as this is an active link. So I'll be sending my slides to Jordan after this presentation. You'll be able to download this and click on that link and pull up the full list. But if I recommend these once you're more comfortable using Canvas. If you're brand new, this is your first day, I would say hold off on those, get used to the normal features and way things work, especially if you're going to be supporting faculty, because they may or may not ever know what these are. And so even with our new designers, I've recommended, I have great tools to give you once you get your feet wet and you're comfortable using and being able to walk someone through how to update due dates, for example, or building a rubric. Once you're able to do that, then let's get you being a little bit more efficient using these great tools. All right, so one of my all-time favorite advancements is adjusting all assignment due dates on one page. This actually uses a Google Sheets or Google Docs tie-in to your account, and you're actually able to import a Canvas course into the spreadsheet. It pulls all the assignments, due dates available from, until, points, and whether it's published or not. It also categorizes it, whether it's a quiz or assignment. All of the content in columns A through H is editable. So when I pull those assignments forward and I'm looking at a syllabus that I'm updating a course from, if like maybe this first assignment just says test, maybe now it's test 1, there's going to be a test 2, I could relabel this test as test 1, adjust the due date, the available from. I can even put points against it, although the quiz we'd have to look at the questions. And you can also change the published field from a 1 to a 0 to unpublish it. And that way that might catch the faculty's eye or whatever your communication with them is on whether that needs to be updated or maybe had questions about it. I really like being able to adjust the available from and until dates all in one page. You're able just to open up a cell within the Google spreadsheet and adjust the date right there, as well as the time. So instead of opening all the assignments in multiple tabs, or even the new tab that Canvas came out with this summer with updating all, it doesn't do everything here in the spreadsheet. And so I've really appreciated being able to update all of the assignments, quizzes, discussion boards, etc. within one view. It takes just a couple minutes now per course instead of having to hunt down all the assignments and again opening them a new tab or however you might manage that now. And within the Canvancements page back here on this link, they have instructions on how to set this up, and I found it pretty easy. A couple of my colleagues have also been able to set that up as well. My second favorite one is sorting rubrics made easy. This requires a Tamper Monkey plug into your browser, as well as it runs a separate set of code. I don't know about you, if you've ever built a long rubric. Maybe it's a 100-point rubric and there's like 20 different items or more, and you're building it and you get to the bottom and you realize you forgot one. The way the typical Canvas rubric creation works is you'd delete all the ones that are after it, because you build it in the order that it appears. I've done that more than a handful of times, and it's frustrating every time, even on shorter rubrics, just because it just takes a little bit of time to build these out. You want to get it right. Well, the sorting rubrics made easy allows you to reorder the items on the rubric, either while you're creating it or while you're editing it. So maybe you create it right this year, but next year the faculty's like, you know, I really should have had my introduction option way up at the top instead of in the middle, right after grammar or spelling, whatever, whatever they're talking about. Instead of having to rebuild that rubric or duplicate and edit it, you're able to go in and edit it. And I have a screenshot here of me dragging the rubric items around to adjust the order. Works pretty well. And again, you do have to install Tamper Monkey to your browser, and there are great instructions on the Canvancements page. All right, and my last time-saving tip is to schedule announcements. Luckily, we don't, in our instructional design role, we're not typically the ones writing or even scheduling announcements. But this is one I like to point out to faculty, especially at the beginning of the semester. Maybe they know of certain dates where like an exam might creep up on some students. They're able to actually go and do announcements, create that announcement, type it all out, put all the content they want in there, and then they can use the quick little delay posting checkbox and select a day and a time. I didn't actually put a time on the screenshot, but you could also do the time. And then you can actually have all your announcements scheduled for at the beginning of the semester, well before it starts. Not have to remember to go, make sure I go click that button, etc. So this will just save some time, help you stay organized, and also help you communicate well with your students. All right, I'm going to just transition to the second half of my presentation. That is creating sustainable resources. So we'll first talk about what we've done at Creighton to create a faculty and student guide. They're two separate sites, as well as we'll talk about a little bit about the student onboarding and eOrientation and why we think that's been beneficial. So first off, for both the both the faculty and student guides, these are both public courses that we've created. So that, it's not required to be a Canvas user through Creighton. They're just public, open to the general public with that link. The reason we did that is we wanted to be able to publicize this on our website, not just within BlueLine or Canvas, as we call it. We're able to link right to vendor support pages from this site and not worry about students having to log in from our site to head there. This allows you to expand your support and reach. So maybe a faculty, like what we do, that like to work at 10 p.m. or 2 a.m. or whenever they're working and they get stuck. This can be at least one option for them to go check out and see how to do something. It may not always answer the question, but at least might point them in the right direction, and you can follow up with their email in the morning instead of worrying about Dr. So-and-so being so frustrated at 3 a.m. that they couldn't do something. The other recommendation is to make it visible. We've posted ours within the, on the admin side. You're able to edit the links that are in your help menu. And so we've made a help menu link for both the faculty guide and the student guides right there. And I do have the links to the sites listed right here. I'm not going to pull them up. Again, if you grab those slides that that will be uploaded to the website later, you'll be able to click on these and see what we're talking about. So this is just a quick screenshot of our faculty guide site. It has kind of a lot of things going on, but these are all mostly academic technology tools that either our team supports or we can at least help walk faculty through. So we have things like accessibility. Of course, we're Creighton, so everything's blue. So our Panopto is Bluecast, Canvas is BlueLine. We have a tool called Qualtrics, so we call BlueQ, etc. These all link to pages within this course site. And then from there, the BlueLine one actually links out at another level, and you'd be able to check that out following the link. I also dropped the text of the link on this page here. We've had good feedback from faculty. I think maybe the biggest frustration is they can't necessarily remember where it is. Like we'll talk about in meetings, we'll show them where to go to click on it. They still don't remember, but that's all right. And these are been very helpful for us to provide links and emails to faculty with instructions to help them grab the most up-to-date information that we have on maybe how to upload a Zoom recording to our Panopto system or whatever the topic is. So I think it's been a good success. Our student example, here's our student guide site, and this one keeps scrolling down. We kept this a lot more simple because students just like to get in, get what they want, and get out. A lot of this is very basic, just how to do something that maybe they haven't been shown before, or maybe it's been a while. So how do I see my feedback on an assignment I submitted, or how do I download a video from Panopto if my school or a faculty member allow for that, etc. So again, I have the link here, and you're welcome to check that out. Another thing that we've done over the years is created a student eOrientation site. And this actually started from Sean Cook within the School of Pharmacy and Health Professions. On Creighton, I'd probably call him the master of eOrientation sites because every other unit that wants to do it, we end up copying from his, and then we edit from there. And he's a great guy and does a great job with it. The benefits of using eOrientation sites, so what this is first, and then I'll go into the benefits. It is a BlueLine site that students get access to after they deposit. And so that's their first BlueLine course they've ever added to. It has a lot of welcome information in there, information about policies, maybe information about the schedule of welcome week that may be months away. Our students can deposit, I want to say as early as February, and they won't start till August. So we have quite a long length of time to keep them engaged with Creighton, keep them excited. And this eOrientation site has been a huge benefit to that retention of those students. We also use this to introduce students to technologies, both formally and informally. So we have actual technology information orientation materials right in there that walks them through how to set up their BlueLine profile picture, how they check the speed of their internet at home if they're going to be an online distance student, etc., as well as the whole courses within BlueLine or Canvas. And so whether they're doing a technology thing or taking a quiz that said, yes, I watched the video and I agree to this policy, whatever it is, they're using the tool over and over and over again without even realizing it. So by the time August comes around, they've already had at least a couple of weeks, if not months, using the learning management system, and we've seen great success for them. This also allows for practice assignments, quizzes, etc., including a lockdown browser practice and Turnitin. I would say on top of the eOrientation sites that we have, those are more school specific. So like School of Pharmacy, College of Nursing, I think Dental has one now. I think Medicine is also looking at one. There's a few others. We also had just made a generic student onboarding site called BlueLine 101. I think I have a screenshot coming. Yeah, we'll talk about it here. Perfect. This one is more open enrollment for any student. So whether they're in a program that uses the orientation or not, we have a link available for faculty to drop in their course, and they'll send them to this new BlueLine or Canvas site. It is a self-paced lockstep course with knowledge-based quizzes as well as a few policy sign-off quizzes. So making sure they understand, they should be using Office 365 within the realm that they're supposed to, etc. It also provides contact information for the IT service desk or any other support that they might need. So this is a great intro, especially for students that might not have a program assigned yet. We're able to connect them with this. This was actually just created during COVID. A lot of the materials we were already using within eOrientation. So that was a great turnaround, but we found it to be helpful, especially if students move online either quickly or for the first time. It can be pretty daunting. So providing practice things as well as information that they can review over and over will be super helpful. I already talked through most of these. Let me see if I missed anything. The students for eOrientation sites are added through our student information system. And so there is no manual enrollment. That was a big thing we wanted to avoid, because if you've been higher ed long enough, you know that students will deposit and then some will also drop. And so trying to keep track of who's still enrolled in the program or not can be a huge headache. See if I missed anything else here. Oh, the other thing that Sean really implements is a slow roll of content to encourage engagement. So when even the students that deposit in February or April, no one's really ahead or behind, he'll launch maybe the first couple of modules of content within those first few months, and then start to roll more over the summer, keep those students engaged with the content. We drop the technology stuff in closer to the start of the program, just so they're a little bit more engaged with it right before, instead of watching it in March and forgetting about it by August. And there's different ways you could do that as well. And we do that both by unlocking modules, but also unlocking assignments to be available at a certain time. And also, I think he manages the publishing of all that too. So he does a great job engaging those SPAP or School of Pharmacy and Health Profession students. All right, I just went through a whirlwind of a lot of topics, but I left some room here at the end to answer any questions you might have. If you want to drop them in the chat, or if we don't interrupt each other too much, you can drop in the audio, I think. So, what questions do you have?